and welcome back to Pima Voices. Today, I am sitting down with Diana Cadena, who is a videographer at Arizona Public Media, and we are going to be exploring the world of cinematography. How are you today, Diana?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming in. I know usually you say you're behind the camera, but today you're in front of the camera. So thank you so much for coming to the studio and sitting down with me. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. It is a little strange. So
Well, you're going to do great. So I actually really wanted to bring you in because I've never sat in the room with someone who is an Emmy winner. And I know I'm jumping the gun here, but I was like, this is so exciting. And so before we really dive into that, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are an alumni of the college from the digital arts program and everything. So give us a little background about who you are, and then we can dive into more of the better details.
Yeah, my name is Diana Cadena, and I am a Tucson local filmmaker. I came to Pima in 2018 and graduated in 2019. And when I transferred to the U of A, I still decided to take some classes here to transfer them over. I graduated from the U of A with a bachelor's in film and television in 2021. And then I went straight into local news at KOLD. And I was there for a year and a half and then transferred over or switched over to AZPM, which I am now a videographer editor.
And Emmy winner.
And Emmy winner.
So I'm just going to keep throwing that in throughout this whole conversation because I think everyone needs to know how awesome that is.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. And I don't mention it. And my friends are always bragging about me to other people. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I won an Emmy.
Yeah, no big deal. I won an Emmy. I would literally do that. Like, hello, my name is Diana. I'm an Emmy winner. So let's talk about your journey at the here at the college. Do you think starting here at Pima and then taking classes to transfer kind of really helped your transition to the U of A?
Yeah, it did. I think because the college is much smaller and there's smaller classes, you have opportunities to work more directly with your professors and mentors. And I think that really helped me when I transitioned over. I still have connections here with the professors that I speak with, and they still give me guidance to this day.
Who are some of those professors?
I speak a lot with Robert Loomis. He's one of the professors that teaches film here. And,
I think I've heard his name. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I really like that because I kind of have that sort of connection too within the fashion program. I've mentioned before on the podcast, there's some instructors that I still communicate with. I think that's really important to have. And I think it's also really special. And I think that's something that is really special within the college, and having that experience here, you kind of get that more one-on-one guidance, which I think is really important, especially within any category, really. But I think the arts is also really nice because the arts is such a beautiful and wonderful and opening community that when you have some sort of that guidance and mentorship, I think it's really great. So that's awesome that you still have some of those connections. And so you've been filmmaking for around 7 years and then photography as well. So what inspired you to kind of get into that field?
What inspired me, I think, was when I was growing up. It was hard for me to kind of find media that related more to me. And as I was getting older, I was thinking I should just make this myself for other people that are like me.
Yes.
Like my background and my culture and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of pushed me to start. And in high school, I took film classes, and just there, that was an opportunity to kind of learn what kind of equipment there's out there, how to edit, how to shoot. And so it was mainly just to learn and get my skills. And once I came to Pima, that helped me figure out what exactly I wanted to talk about in my stories.
And so I really like how you said, you kind of didn't see yourself or your culture or things like that and within the media. And I think understanding that there's that gap that's missing is really important, especially at a young age. And so to see I want to change that narrative is amazing. And I think that's like another reason why I wanted to bring you down here, because for March it's Women's History Month, and I think that there's a lot of times where women don't always have the voice. And so for you to understand, like, I need to create that voice and I need to showcase that is super powerful. And you're just bringing up the next generation to continue that journey and that experience. And so I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool that you knew at such a young age, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't always understand till later. And
Hmm.
so for the fact that you were able to kind of understand that at a younger age and then continue it, I think that's something that you should be really proud of. And so you have a lot of work, obviously, that you've been doing, and you work with Arizona Public Media. So what does your day-to-day kinda look like there now that you are a graduate and are you done with schooling at this point?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so what does it kinda look like now that you are done with school and then you have this, job?
Hmm. As a videographer and editor, I work with the producers, and there's 7 producers to 4 videographers, so we have to really, like, split up our time and, with all of them, and so we get booked on a lot of shoots, um, depending on what the producers are scheduling, but at least 3 shoots a week and also edits. So sometimes, I shoot a story and edit it, and sometimes I edit somebody else's story that they shot. So it really just depends on what our availability is, but it's been a lot of fun getting to shoot the stories 'cause they're all about things that are local to Tucson and Southern Arizona. So while I'm working, I'm also learning new things about arts and culture and mental health, science, that is local within Tucson. So that's really nice.
And speaking of the fun in Tucson, why don't we get back to that Emmy and let's talk about what it was that you worked on with Arizona Public Media that did win you that prestigious award.
Mhm. Each producer has their own topic that they have to write stories about, and so this producer, her little niche is mental health. And so one of the stories that she was producing was the impact of the impact of color blindness. And so we were working with I forgot the name. Oh my god. But there was a program that was going on that helped make glasses for people that are colorblind so that they would be able to see the color that they wouldn't be otherwise be able to see. And so we went and we filmed a group of people that were selected to try them on for the first time, and so we got to see their reaction, and that was really cool. Because you see color every day, and so you don't really think about what it would be like without seeing all those colors like other people witness, and so just seeing people's reactions to something that we see every day was really cool.
Yeah, I know I mean, I think about that too of like how beautiful it is to see the world and that everyone has a different perspective. Obviously,
Mhm.
we all see color differently, but yeah, that's something that you don't even think about is like, oh yeah, everyone can see color, but I'm sure that was just such a heartwarming moment. I've seen like videos of stuff of that before of that experience, and I'm always like, I always want to cry because it's just like you always just feel so good for them. So I can't imagine being there in that moment and experiencing that. Um, and what was it like to going to get your Emmy? I'm sorry, I'm always like, I'm just so excited for you about that because I think it's such a great thing to say. But what was that experience like in that day?
It was awesome.
You're like, long story short, it was awesome.
Yeah, I got there and just, like, walking in and seeing everyone all dressed up and even seeing some of my old coworkers from KOLD that also got nominated was really awesome, and just, being able to, like, hug everyone, and it's like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen you in so long. I can't
Yeah.
believe you're here with me." It was a really great moment, and, just sitting at the table, and there's about 100 categories almost, I think, of different, stories that were selected, and um, they just go back to back, and so at some point you kind of just like forget that you're there because it's just like so much talking in the background. And so I wasn't really paying too much attention up until like our category was coming up, because I was nominated for 2 Emmys, and one of them was the one that won.
Oh my gosh, no big deal. I was nominated for 2.
And so our category was coming up, and my coworkers were like, "Oh my god, it's our turn," and I was like, "What, already?" And so, I wasn't, like, expecting to win. I was just excited to be there, and so when
Mhm.
I heard our story, John is colorblind being announced, oh my god, like, I got up so quick. And I just yeah, just walking up to the stage and, shaking people's hands or, like, just saying hi to everyone, it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine an experience like that. And
Mhm.
like you said, like even just being nominated is just such a great opportunity and just being recognized in that form. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people go in like not expecting to win. So when you do, you're just like, oh my goodness, this is what? And so I'm so happy that you got to experience that. I love seeing other people succeed in their journeys and um that's such a great thing to have such early on in your career. And so, what advice would you give to students who want to get in the like world of videography or anyone who wants to like start maybe at Pima Community College to start their journey? What advice would you give to someone? Let's say like when you were just discovering that that was what you wanted to do, what advice would you give to someone?
Um, when I first came to Pima, I wanted to do film, I knew that, but at the same time, it was kind of hard because I know in the arts it's difficult a lot of
Mhm.
times to make a living off of it, and so I was kinda like, "Should I do film? Should I do something else?" And so I took Pima as a way to figure out if film was actually what I wanted to study, and pursue full time. I know Pima is seen as, like, just a stepping stone to transfer over to a university, but for my advice, I would say don't just see it as, like, gen ed classes. I use that as an opportunity to take other courses such as, astronomy or psychology to see if either of those fields were something that I wanted to go into, and so just experiencing different career options through the classes that Pima has to offer, I think was a great way for me to decide that I didn't wanna do anything else other than film.
No, I love that. I think I've like the more I talk to people, the more that comes up. And I know like just depending on generation that's different. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to start here and then move there." And then other people are like, "Yeah, definitely take the time to like explore what you really want to do." I even have friends who were like, "Yep, I'm going to go to school for this. I'm going to do that." And then they don't even work in that field anymore
Mhm.
and they have this degree to something that they don't work in, and so I appreciate you saying, take the chance to explore. I think that's really important, especially when you're like young. I feel like now's the time, well, no matter your age, really. But when you are younger, like let's say getting out of high school, there's so much to say, oh yeah, jumpstart your career, do this, in high school. But like what if you wanted like you're growing up and you're changing and evolving. And
Mhm.
so being able to come to a community college that offers so many different classes, so many different degree options, I think it is really important to explore, and why not take that time to do so? And so then, like you said, you can really figure out that's what you really want to do. And yeah, the arts is hard. I totally understand the arts is hard, and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna make a living?
Yeah.
Is this gonna be sustainable? But I also think it's really important to dive into your passion and go full force and be happy in life, and the fact that you took the chance to take different classes and really understand like, yep, this is exactly what I do. It's paid off. So
Mhm.
you have a good job, you have awards and nominations behind you, and so I think if you really know what you want to do, go for it. And so that's kind of what you've said, like, yeah, I knew exactly what I want to do, and then look at you. Now you're thriving. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And so what also, let's say, working in your career field today, what do you think is the most valuable lesson you've learned when you were in school that has helped you in your professional career?
Um, the most the most valuable lesson I learned when I was in school that I still use now is definitely meeting new people and staying connected with them, because a lot of the gigs and other projects that I've been able to work on, such as like music videos, short films, I was able to get through other people that I knew that recommended me. And so that's really important, especially in arts and in film making in general, being able to not only work hard, but having others to back that up for you and tell other people, like, yeah, she works very hard and she would be a great part of your team. Um, yeah.
No, that's great. I'm really bad at that, so I'm appreciate you mentioning that because then it's also reassurance for me of like, yeah, I definitely have to get better at that. I think that's really important. And I hear that from a lot of people. Like, definitely make keep those contacts, make those connections. And sometimes that can be really hard to do. I'm a shy
Yeah.
person, so it's always like, hello.
Yeah, that's how I am too. And I really didn't start networking until like a year after I graduated from the U of A. When I started finally like going out, I'm like, I need other projects to
Yeah.
work on, and so I started branching out and talking to more people. And in the beginning, it was definitely hard because I'm also really shy, and I was really nervous to talk to other people.
But see, if you can do it, I can do it, and someone else can do it. So yeah, networking I think is really important. So that is a very great point. And do you think before we end our session, is there any other advice that you would like to give to anyone who wants to go into the field that you're in, or anyone who wants to go to the college, or just anything in general?
Um, some advice I could give, I think, would be just take your time and really figure out what it is that you want to do more long term. And not really like fake it till you'll make it, but definitely like put yourself out there, and you have a lot of worth and you know a lot of skills, and you really need to show that to other people and not be shy about it, because I definitely was. And it wasn't until I started to speak more about myself and learn how to speak about myself to others that really made an impact on where my career was going.
Well, I think you said it in perfect words. I know that can be really hard for a lot of people to recognize their strengths. A lot of times we recognize our weaknesses
Hmm.
instead. And so I think what you have said is really important. You've had some really great advice. I know you said you're shy, but you have a lot of great things to say. So
Thank you.
continue saying them. And I can't wait to see some of the more work that you work on. And congratulations on your Emmy again. I
Thank
just gotta
you.
throw that back out there. And it's so great having you here and having someone who is an alumni of the college who has great advice, who has good work experience, and can just share some insight into your world of videography. So, again, I really appreciate your time today. It's been really lovely sitting down and talking to you and hearing a little bit more about your field and your career and your journey. And I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
it has been fun. So, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next week for an all new episode. Thank you.
Thanks.